Alright, so I messed up on my thing, on my video, so this is going to be a two-parter. So I just finished the little lazy hive, got food in there for them, because the dearth is on. So I'm just popping the cover on my big hive here, because I'm going to put in an escape board. So if you don't know, this is an escape board, so the bees figure out how to go, through the hole, but they can't figure out how to get back in through the little maze here, which is kind of a neat, funny thing. So anyway, I've got this fired up, so I'm just gonna put the phone down, and hopefully, so I'm just using my phone, hopefully it records. It should. Let's see, I'll use my thing here. Oh. Dumb. Alright, well, I'm just going to leave it right there for now. Hopefully you guys can see it. Because I'm just going to pop these supers off and put this board on here. These little suckers keep... I made these little screens here, and they're pretty awesome actually. They sure help in the heat. Just little vent screens, as you can see. They're screened and then screened to bottom, but they keep building propolis on it and making me mad. So, just a little bit of puffy puff. A little bit of smoke. And a hive tool. And then I'm going to just set the supers down next to me real quick and do my work. Pretty decent amount of honey in there. I mean, not a ton, but I put my supers on late too. But I'll show you, like, so these are the honey supers. There's some of my bees. They're just hanging out to where I'll see if I can pull a frame. Not a ton of honey, but some. Some are better than others. Like that side's not bad. Anyway. Just lost a bunch of bees down on the table here. They don't like that very much. So I'm going to pop the other one off, and then I'll put on that escape board. How did I have this phone set up? Maybe like that. I don't know. I don't care. I'm trying to work. Okay, I'll turn this off until I get this done. Okay, so I got my feeder there, and I've got the supers off. You got the honey supers off, which I'm going to install a bottom board, or escape board. But before I do, I am making room for my feeder, because I'm going to drop in an in-hive feeder, but wanted to let you just see kind of some of my bees. They're building this out pretty nicely. There are some empty frames up here that I'm wanting them to draw out, which is why I'm going to start the feed now as well. What I had done was I had taken frames. This is the hive that kept making all the queen cells, and so I had taken frames of brood and honey, and I put them in that little split hive right there to give these guys more room, and kept cutting this. I cut out probably 20 capped queen cells out of this thing over about 6 weeks time, and they're not making them anymore now that I gave them the room. They've kind of settled down, I think. And so I'm going to drop in this in-hive feeder, put on the board, put the supers back on, and just let them do their thing. So I'll take those supers off in a couple days, but just wanted to kind of let you guys see this was kind of my big hive. This was the one that I had requeened, and so yeah, anyway, so that's this hive, and I'll take a little shot of them right before I button it up. Okay, so got my feeder in, got my syrup in, And these guys are just starting to head over this way. There's a pollen patty, an old pollen patty on here that looks like they're just finishing up. I'm gonna have to move it to put on that escape board. But yeah, syrup's in for these guys. See how long it takes them to eat it up. I have a feeling it's gonna go fairly fast. So that's it. I'm gonna put on this escape board. And in fact, maybe I'll move some of this stuff so I don't smash these bees. The smoker's still going? Oh, there we go. Let's give these guys a little smoke right here. There. Oh, that works slick. And I'll just peel this stuff off. I'll just put it over here or something. They'll still eat it. There we go. Watch out there, girls. Alright. So then, I'm going to hit them one more time, kind of drive them down, so I don't smash bees with this board. Got one of them buzzing me here. Not happy. Okay, escape board is going on. Like so. There, perfect. Skateboard's on. Escape board. Honey supers are going to go on, and I'm going to button it up. Alright, buttoned back up. Escape board is in, and feeder is in. I did plug my upper entrance here. So all the bees essentially should just go from the two supers down into the hive, and I want them to really be working on drawing out the rest of that comb, so rest of those frames in there. So that's what I got. That one's done. We're on to the little split hive next. Alright, so this is the little split out of my 3 hives. This is the one that I made. 3 frames. I split 3 frames. This queen and this hive died. I requeened it, but they also requeened it. I killed all the cups except for 5 that were on one frame. I put that frame and a frame of brood and a frame of honey in this lower box and just said, what the hell, see what happens. And now that was like July 6th, and now I'm 2 deeps and a honey super on it. This is by far my coolest hive. These bees are actually really, really chill. So I'm just gonna crack them open here, see how things are going. And all I'm doing here is feeding. That's all I have to do on this hive. So I'm gonna crack it open. It's hard to do this one-handed, so I'm gonna crack it open and then I'll turn the camera back on. Alright, so lid's off. This little hive, I left this super on, even though I'm taking the supers off the other hives. That hive over there didn't do anything. Like, I had a super on there, I told you, for like 2 months, and they never put any honey on it. And so I took all the frames out of it because they were drawing frames, and I put them into this little split hive just to see if these bees, because I did have a bunch of these plasticell frames in here, whoops, but they weren't drawn out. And so I wanted to see if they would do anything having drawn frames in here, like if they would put any feed up here, any food up here, because I did put a bunch of feed in here, which I don't see them doing anything right now, but this was only a little while ago, a couple of days ago. So I'm gonna see if there's any. No, they're messing with it. I'm gonna leave this on for another month or 2 and see what happens. So I'm gonna pop this super off and we'll get down there and pop this honey super off. We'll get down here and feed them. Okay, so here's what they look like. Someone's coming out here. Oh, it's Bob and Aaron coming out. So here's the inside of the hive. They're going crazy, but we're gonna feed right down in here. So I'm gonna pop this off real